Hello and welcome to day one of week two of split two of the 2019 OPL. I am Nicholas Boy Richardson, and I am back. And so is everybody else.
Nice.
How are you? Rusty?
Good.
Spawn?
Don't know about you, but I was watching the NBA Finals on the way here.
Oh, I mean, talk about competition. What a series. I know we'll talk about League at some point.
You know, the thing that got me, though, is I got off at the train station. There was a minute left in the fourth quarter, and it was real close. I was like, oh, God. So I'm walking in the streets of Sydney like an absolute asshole, just on my phone the whole time.
Yep.
1 minute left on a 15-minute walk, and I got here and it just finished.
Yeah.
That's how long it takes for a minute left in a game.
Well, there was a 2-minute penalty decider when the clock had already reached 0-0-0. There was no more time in the game, and they were still deciding a penalty. Jake, you must be thrilled with the Raptors win.
So I was actually saying this to Rusty. I'm a huge NBA fan, but I'm actually, I support teams. When my team's out, I stop watching.
Right, okay.
Oklahoma City Thunder fan, my team gone, I stop watching. I tune back in to watch Kevin Durant, the trader, rupture his Achilles tendon. Hopefully he never walks again. And then I stop watching.
Jesus.
So, that's just what I like.
Oh, my God.
And once again, I'm a fan. Fan came from fanatic. I embody the word a lot. I've also decided, I don't know if you know this, Nick, but everyone says that watching League of Legends with Kobe is like being at home on your couch with a friend. And I've decided that watching League of Legends with Rusty is like being at home on a couch with a friend. So I'm just going to drink my coffee because I haven't really had that much sleep. So it's coffee time right now. So if you could just give me 5 minutes, you do the rest of the show.
I'm a friend on a couch.
I'll check back in.
As friends, we'll do the heavy lifting for you
Thank
today. But there won't be too much heavy lifting because we got a heap of games. They're all going to be bangers, and it's been a big week for League as well.
Are they going to be bangers?
Yeah, I think they're all going to be bangers.
Okay, I hope so.
Chiefs versus Gravitas, banger.
Skeptical.
AV versus Legacy, double banger. Direwolves versus Order, that's a banger with cheese. And Mammoth and Bombers, that's a banger with 6 nuggets. McDonald's. So it should be a good day. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I mean, all the teams are 1-1 except for
Gravitas.
the very top and the very bottom, Gravitas and Mammoth. So, I mean, it should just be an exciting weekend.
And what I would say...
Please, we'll do the heavy lifting.
Okay, thank you.
No, what will you say?
Now I'm trying to swallow.
He's very busy.
What I will say is Gravitas looked real ordinary on week one. And I thought the Chiefs actually looked pretty stellar. Chiefs, in my mind, are kind of 2-0 with just a bad late game team fight from Rays that unfortunately cost them that game because they led for 80% of it against Mammoth. So I'm really excited to see how this Chiefs lineup comes back up because after losing that game to Mammoth, they then smacked the Direwolves around. Katsuri, did you see the damage graphs?
I didn't see the damage.
Because they were circulated a little bit. Katsuri did 1.1 thousand damage in that game.
Oh,
Rays
wow.
did 34,000.
Wow.
Rays was 34 times the 80 carry of Katsuri in that game. Obviously, it's Katsuri's first week, so we hope it improves. I'm not trying to, trash talk the
Shame.
Direwolves here. I'm actually trying to build up the Chiefs because the Chiefs right now look really, really, really damn good.
The Chiefs look very good. League of Legends looking very good right now as well. I mean, it's been a huge week. We've got a new game mode announced, which we'll talk about later on. Mordekaiser got his rework. The Dark Star skins came out. The new Lux comic came out as well, and that's going to be inspiration for our giveaway today. So we want to give you guys a HyperX Cloud Alpha headset, the official headset of the OPL. All you need to do is design a OPL-themed comic book cover by the end of the broadcast. We're going to be doing our own. You guys did this last split. We got some amazing entries, so we want to do it again and get them back.
Why didn't they use any of our comics?
I feel like
Why
there's
did
a
they
very
use
good
those crappy
reason.
ones?
Remember Bryce's foot?
Yep, I do. The
Just
Ivan Grass Between the Toes comic.
Just a big old
I even
Bryce.
remember
foot
I
what
had
in the
my
grass.
Garen in the urinal.
Yep.
Which I now
That's
found
right.
out
That
gets
was
you
amazing.
banned from Twitch. So maybe we should have showed it.
There you go. So all you need to do is design an OPL-themed comic book cover and send... Bryce is just melting down at the desk. And send it in to any of our socials, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Tweet it at us, tweet it at the OPL. We'll get it. And the winner will get themselves an amazing headset. Thanks
Tweet it
to
at
HyperX.
Rusty.
Tweet it at Rusty as well.
Rusty's the
Yeah,
one that
tweet it at
judges
me.
these.
Rusty-
Just skip the middleman.
I am the
Rusty
best
needs some
opinion
love,
on art.
please.
You know that.
So please send them in because it's a very fun time. The other thing as well, Emerald, just before we started, said OPL Twitch chat fan games when? Today, Emerald.
Oh,
because
no.
the MPL is on tonight after the broadcast, and we have a custom game lobby with a password that I will announce just before we begin the game and people can jump in. So
And
there you go.
Even better yet, I have a seat that is on the casters team that if you can make your way into Riot Games Studios, I will vacate for you.
That's true.
That is a promise.
There you go.
People are shaking their heads, but I think that they're just not used to the radical ideas that are coming out tonight.
We've started strong, I think, tonight.
So get cracking on your League of Legends OPL themed comic book covers and start sending them in and get ready to play on as part of the NBL tonight because it should be a good fun time.
NBL?
Yeah,
or
the
NPL?
National Basketball
NPL.
League.
Oh, good. The Premier League. We don't want to be like the NBL here.
We don't want to be like the no. Trust me, even with me playing on the league team, we're better than
And we are the
NBL.
Toronto Raptors of this league. Let's
I
be
would
clear.
say we're not.
All right,
We didn't even
well,
watch.
what could be the Toronto Raptors? The Chiefs going up against, well, I mean, that makes Gravitas the Golden State Warriors, which is a pretty big ask, but you know what? I reckon they're up to the challenge. Let's head over to the desk with Benji and E-Jim for the McDonald's Champ Select.
Thanks, Nick Boy, E-Jim. thanks for
Nicholas
joining me.
Boy.
Nicholas
He's
Boy.
renamed. He's rebranded today.
Why?
I don't know. It's a mistake.
Okay,
It's a
was
big mistake.
I mean,
I'm
it's
sorry
cool.
to cut you off.
It was Niche Boy as well as a H in it. Welcome. We are going to be started with our first game of the day. It's going to be Chiefs versus Gravitas.
Yep.
They didn't really talk too much about the matchup, Bryce. Tell me,
Okay.
coming into this, I think we have a clear favorite.
Yeah, definitely. Coming into this, Chiefs out and out will be the favourites. Coming into the matchup, and Jake was singing their praises, which is interesting. He was kind of singing the hatred of that Chiefs versus Mammoth game at the end of last show. But I feel like the man in the mid lane for Chiefs has had a very rough start to the season. Yes, you can kind of point to everyone on the Chiefs and be like, yeah, they smacked around the dire walls. Maybe you expect them to do it here versus Gravitas today. But this was a Nico game. It was an Aurelia game from Claire, long-time mid laner in the league. And had a little bit of a roughie over the weekend. On the other side of the coin, though, Gravitas just kind of had a little bit of a roughie all over the map.
They did, yeah. They had a few. The game for me that really stood out was their game versus was Avant, wasn't it? Avant obviously running a few subs.
Yeah.
Not their strongest A lineup, and that lineup will be back tomorrow, so we're looking forward to seeing how they perform on the Rift. But losing to a team using subs has not got to be good for morale.
Oh, no, 100%. Like, they're going to go back behind the scenes and be like, yeah, let's write it off. Unlucky we lost that one. But from everywhere else, people look at that game and be like, you absolutely should not be losing that one. So definitely going to have to come around into week number 2 and start stepping it up, getting these wins on the board. Because as the couch rather sort of mentioned, sitting as the lone wolves at the bottom of the ladder, 0 wins this season.
Yep. Everyone else except for Mammoth is 1-1. Mammoth are 2-0. So if you look at the score for the first week, there's a lot of close matchups.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see
Well,
how it goes this week. This week is where you pull out of the pack.
Yeah, there isn't really much room to kind of pull ahead of the pack in
2 weeks.
In like a single week, right? That's all we've seen so far. So 2-0 is kind of the top of the table here, but we are into draft already.
Yep, let's roll through the bands. Silas, Rise, Aatrox knocked off from the Chiefs.
Okay.
A lot of focus there on the top lane. And then for Gravitas, we've got Sona, we've got Yumi, and we've got Draven.
Okay, so Aurelia is up and available. I would honestly expect Chiefs to go towards that one, and no, they're going
Sejuani.
to take the Sejuani. That could be kind of setting themselves up for an Aurelia if they do want to take it later in the draft, if Gravitas doesn't pick it up for themselves right here, but potentially a little bit of a gauntlet thrown.
Yep, the key here, I think, is where they've focused the bands. Gravitas here targeting down Ray's Isle bot lane, right?
Yep.
Whereas the Chiefs are focused mostly on the top lane. Yeah, Silas can be run sort of... I've seen him mid. I think he's pretty much a top lane at this point, though. But mostly targeted at Pabu, which I find very interesting.
Yeah, I feel like out of everyone in the Gravitas lineup, the guy with the most flair in and out of game would be Pabu in the top lane. So it makes a lot of sense that he receives a bit of that punishment. I feel like the bottom lane for Gravitas, Raid and Decoy, they've been playing together for a very long time. Had pretty polarizing games during the last week of play. There was a Yumi game down there with the Ezreal, I think. And they were the kind of the ones on that lineup kind of keeping it all together. But in game number 2 against Mammoth had a much rougher time. Yumi, of course, is going to be banned away, but the fact that Gravitas didn't take Aurelia, I think, is a ballsy decision, and you can see Chiefs immediately willing to snap that one
Well,
up.
they let it go for the first pick, though, which tells me something that Sejuani's a higher value pick,
I mean, well,
obviously.
yeah, Sejuani Aurelia is an out-and-out, like, very well-known combination. Renekton is going to be the lock-in here. I expect Camille to be going towards the top side. We have seen her more and more in the mid lane.
Yeah.
If they want to go that style, maybe. I feel like out of all of the players, like, Claire potentially could be able to pick that one up, has played some whack stuff in the past, but Chiefs came into this and they're like, yes, we'll kind of leave the bait open of playing Aurelia. Maybe they look at Gravitas and are like, these guys aren't an Aurelia team.
Yeah.
So we'll take a Sejuani, which Prayless has had some very good games on, take that one away, and then if we get the option of the Aurelia, then our comp will just be so strong topside, and already threw all of the 3 picks for either of these teams. Chiefs have definitely locked that one down.
So the front lines have been basically locked in here for both sides. What we're looking at now in this ban phase, the bot lane here for Chiefs, they haven't locked in anything there, barring any crazy picks.
Yep.
And then on Gravitas side, they're still missing their AD carries. So actually, surprisingly, the AD carries aren't being targeted down here. It's the mages being taken off. LeBlanc and Lux hitting the bench. So mid laner for Gravitas is the other pick they're looking for here. So
Yeah.
Chiefs might hit another mid laner here. And then Gravitas, you can target an AD carry here, but it kind of hits yourself a little bit too.
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like both of these teams do prioritize the Ezreal a whole lot. Raze had a bunch of good games on it last week. But I expect Chiefs to actually go for the second mid lane ban. I feel like if you do hit the AD carry pool, like, they all fulfill very similar roles, where if you've already, as the Chiefs, locked in your solo laners, you just want to get the best lanes possible for these, like, assassins that can have very volatile lane phases. If you take something maybe like the Syndra array from Harry in the mid lane, it could be another option. If they do hit the AD carry pool, I expect it will be the Ezreal more than anything else, but there we go. That's a mid laner. That's a Yasuo. Harry's played it before, and he's not going to get it here today.
There you go. Ezreal still up, so Raid here might look to snatch that one away. It doesn't really have too many hard counters, so it's kind of a safe one to pick here. Whereas the mid laner you kind of want to save for last pick. So I'm personally expecting an AD carry pick here from Raid, and then we'll see the bot lane from Chiefs before we see the final lock-in, most likely for Hayri.
Yeah, it does have a couple of options. Ezreal Nautilus, probably not the best combination. You kind of lock in the tanky Nautilus to be able to abuse anyone in the lane phase and lock people down. You did see that the Lux was taken away from Ayla, played it last week, but given that Raid is going to lock it in, very comfortable on the champion, as the response is going to come through from the Chiefs. And they do have options, right? They've already got a very dive-heavy top side of the map. They can pick something like the Kaiser. They hovered the Callista. They could go like very aggressive and opt in for that comp, but also they can kind of sit on this and play the scaling side of this Chiefs side composition.
Absolutely. It looks like the Bard being hovered here from Isla. We'll see if he locks that one in to round out the Chiefs roster.
Yeah, very unlikely into the Nautilus. Sounds like a bit of a roughy matchup
He's
here.
got a few seconds. There's the Galio. That's more of a beefy support there to match that Nautilus. So that's the comp there lined up there for the Chiefs. The Sejuani will be jungle. And then you got to look at the Aurelia and the Camille. I think most likely Swiper on the Camille at this point. But, I mean, that is the kind of role that you can swap around if you need to. If you don't like the matchup. We'll see the final matchup here for the mid lane. And, I mean, if you are Gravitas, you're looking over at the Aurelia, and you're like, okay, probably an Aurelia mid. And you might pick something for that, but you've also got to be careful at the Camille.
Oh,
okay. The last one. Jack's looked in. Wow, that's
so, yeah, that's actually going to be going to Parbu in the top side. We have seen this resurgence of Renekton in the mid lane. So, mid lane is of old, kind of just gone in this game completely. We have 4 top laners being spread amongst the solo lanes here. Matchups are definitely going to be interesting, what both of these teams kind of opt into.
Do you run the Aurelia or the Camille into that Renekton?
I expect more so of a sense of like Swiper. I feel like is much more comfortable on the Aurelia than the Camille, and I expect Camille to be going to the mid lane.
It's more a comfort thing than a matchup thing.
Much more in my head, yes. And Gravitas are kind of sold on that opinion as well, given that they locked in the Jax, right? And Parbu's going to get his hands on that towards the top side. So a bunch of these plays pulling some flexy shenanigans all over the place. I will say, Chiefs comp overall is a lot more cohesive. They have like the backline of the Kai'Sa. She can just be kind of left alone to do her own thing, has the ulti, has the flash to peel herself, and every single other member from that lineup will just be dashing into Gravitas, looking to get the fight, looking to get the combos. On the other side of the coin, you do have a fairly similar-ish sort of scenario, but Praelus is really going to be relying on his solo laners, maybe Decoy and Nautilus to kind of be the 1-2 punch. Olaf always needs a dive buddy, otherwise he kind of just gets shredded, and Raid, on the other hand, is just going to be left at the back of the fight.
Absolutely. Mel's champ select is done. We have locked in our champions, and we are about to get onto the Rift. Oh, a little bit of a sneak preview there of the loading screen. We'll look to get that sorted for you.
Oh,
I'm excited to see the start of this match, actually, because with all these bruises, to me, it lends itself a little bit to level 1 shenanigans.
Potentially, yeah. Olaf coming through, very good level 1 champion. You have Galio. Well. He has CC, yeah, like Ezreal, Nautilus. All of these guys have options level 1 if they do want to opt in for it, but we'll kind of just see. I think the big point for me is I'm just disappointed. Neither top laner was talking as we took a little sneak peek behind the scenes. That's just a lack of communication, sitting up on the island.
Yeah, we're joined here by Juves. He's currently the coach for Gravitas. How you doing, mate?
Fancy seeing you guys here. How are we?
We're doing well. So how do you feel? You've obviously had a bit of a rough start to the league. Lots of weeks to go. What did you guys do this week to get yourself in a better space for the games?
I don't like jinxing it, but we had some very, very good practice. Like I was really happy with the week. I was really disappointed about the result, but the learnings and the takeaways was very good for us. And I think we've shown throughout last split we're a team that does learn and does get better. And yeah, like we've worked on some stuff. We've worked on some counter picks, and like it's here. We can see it. So I'm excited to see how this game plays out.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
And Benji was saying coach Gravitas. I believe that is not the case. Still GM Vicarious has been coming through.
Yeah,
Was
Vicarious.
coaching on stage today.
Yeah. So I'm still like doing the stuff on game day. I'm doing the pick ban and things like that.
Yep.
Vicarious in the house is doing like more the strategy and like the pick ban and the strategy and the coaching. But we had a good system with our previous coach that worked out very well, and we were all happy to keep it that way and remain that way. And I think it's a very good system, and a lot of stuff, like a lot of teams do have numerous kind of coaching staff, whether it's analysts or pick ban people, and I think this just works for us.
Yeah, okay. And I wanted to ask a lot more about the coaching, right? Like, this is a team, or a league rather, where I think a lot of teams have gone through drastic changes. You kind of look at AV in week 1, Direwolves, their entire roster overhaul. Gravitas keeping it very similar to that split number 1, but Vicarious is the difference. Like, what do you think he is bringing to the team here today?
I think he has a... You put me under the spot here because I'm sitting next to someone who coached the team. No, well, he's coached. So he took a time off OS and went and coached overseas, and he was coaching in like LMS and things like that, and doing some analyst work. So it's always good to get someone in with like a different, I guess, approach on the meta. Because a lot of people, OS teams just OS team's doing this, OS team's doing this, let's do this. Where it's like we don't have that. Like we just have like this is what worked for him overseas, and this is what worked in OS. Let's try and merge those ideas. Yeah. And we've got some new jerseys, by the way. I just thought I'd mention that. Another
Looking very sharp.
another one.
Yeah.
So
look
yeah.
good, play good. That's the strategy.
Yeah, so if you want to sign up and hear some exciting announcements, sign up to gravitas.gg.
I want to ask one final question. It's more related to this game.
Yep.
We've seen the Renekton mid, obviously, as we see going up here. Is this a premeditated pick, or is this a counter to what you... Did you react during Champ Set? Did you come in today with a very clear, like, this is what we want to do?
Well, Chiefs showed both solo lanes pretty early on, and we have a pretty good idea at who plays what. Like with Swiper and Claire. So yeah, we definitely had a discounter pick in place ready for them for this situation. Yeah.
Awesome. Good planning. Well, thank you very much, Shoes, and good luck in the game.
Thank you.
All right, let's take stock of this game, Bryce. Anything you've noticed here? This mid lane is very scrappy, it looks like.
Yeah, and I feel like both solo laners are probably going to trend in that direction, right? This is a bunch of melees, bunch of assassins, bunch of bruisers. Praelis is getting some action in top side, though. Swiper.
He does connect with the CC. He's going to follow up. Red buff hitting, but nope. Swiper does get under his turret.
Yeah, Swiper holding his stun for a very long time. There is down, though. The TP is going to come from Claire. Hookshot available.
He does go in. He does miss the stun. Flash Force out there. Didn't actually miss the stun. He had a pinpoint accuracy, but flashes from the top lane for Gravitas. Nice counter gank, actually.
Yeah, very nicely played there from Parbu, honestly. Counter-strike timed very well, so Claire lands, attaches to the wall, and can't bounce off immediately. Bought them a little bit of space, but it is going to be the flash traded away from the Olaf. Hayri pops a Sejuani
he's
here.
stunned, actually. He's taking a lot of damage. No red buff there. Red buff only there. That probably would be a kill.
Okay, and you kind of take a look at this top side of the map, and I feel like this is where we're going to be focusing this game and where the two teams will be putting their pressure.
Yeah.
I was talking about in Champ Select, in terms of skirmishes, when you pair Sejuani with melee bruisers, incredibly strong. They get to proc the passive, it's CC after CC, and both Camille and Aurelia have lockdown of their own volition. But on the other side of the coin, like, Gravitas have fairly similar solo laners, but they have the higher tempo jungler. Given that Praelis now already ganked topside, he lost his flash, I feel like this game wants to be playing much more around, like, the individual matchup. If he can isolate the Sejuani, if he can put his jungle on hard farm, of course he's already finished the skirmishes, stuff like that, then he's going to have a good time. Here you can see him right now kind of shepherding Hayri in the mid lane, just wanting to get this wave in.
I'm trying to bait him forward, I think, here. There's so many minions. I don't think Claire's going to step forward there. Anyway, does back off and move down the river here.
Early levels fighting in a wave is definitely a rough time.
You raise a very good point there, because Olaf catches Sejuani. Sejuani does not do very well in that matchup, unless she gets way ahead. But also, the thing with Olaf is, like, he can farm, but he's really good snowballing early on.
Certainly is the case once he gets his... I was going to say Boots and Predator Pop, but this is going to be the Conqueror of the New Age Olaf there. Skirmish is already completed, where it was actually the Barmies picked up by only on the Sejuani. Given that he kind of forced Praelis out earlier on the top side, does have that extra camp sort of lead right now. And this is actually Praelis visiting all 3 lanes very early this game. Kind of being tugged all over the map, you can see, but a very nice ward deep in the lane. Will have actually spotted him walking around there, and if it didn't anyway, the Crab's going to do the trick of the river.
You can see on the minimap there in the bottom right corner, that blue ward that's pushed forward, very, very powerful as you see Pabu return into lane. You see in that bush right there. That spotted out the jungler coming through lane, and the bot lane just sort of paid respect. I guess he says Sejuani jump forward here, but Hayri very quick with that dash, getting out of range.
Slices out of the way. It is going to be the level 6 mark hit for the Camille, and linking up with his jungler. Only pairing with the mid laner, just going to walk into top side, try and get some of this vision down. Prayless is going to check them here, but gets vision first.
Very close. Does step in the brush there. They see each other here. It's a bit of a back and forth. Trying to steal actually over the wall. Hayri jumps in. They did force the flash. The charge didn't quite get there. Hayri forced back under the turret. Chiefs will get away.
Yeah, okay. A little bit of a weird interaction there. You can see Gravitas kind of a little bit hesitant to take the fight, and that's because Hayri just hit the level 6 mark. It was 6 for Camille, but only 5 for the Renekton, and so trying to steal away the Raptor Pit. Only loses his flash now, so both junglers not having access to the summoner in this early game.
Yeah, but just a few summoners burnt. No kills, no big advantages yet. That top lane there, Pabu's putting a ton of pressure on Swiper, but that's obviously how the matchup's going to go a bit early on.
And can I also just say, if this is the meta, then I'm really pissed off. If solo laners get to look at the game and it's like, oh, I'm winning lane. I want to win it a little bit harder. Let's purchase a Doran's Blade.
Sure.
And then on the other side of the coin, it's like, okay, I'm losing lane.
match him.
I need to lose a little bit less. I'm going to purchase a Doran's Blade. If this becomes the slippery slope that League of Legends is trending down, then
Do you remember the old was it the Gambit
Bit of a
80
roughie.
carry where he bought the 4 Doran's Blades?
yeah, is it
Was it
what was his
Genji?
name? Genji?
No.
No, that's the
That's the other, oh, that's that. It
Genja?
was-
I think it was Genja.
Genja? I think
Genja
something
and
like that.
Edward.
Yeah.
He was the Cogmore guy before Cogmore was good.
Yeah,
he was
but he
building
bought 4
Triforce
Doran's
and-
Blades, and his theory was items don't matter so much as long as you're spending the money, you're getting stats somewhere.
Yeah. It's just like the blind look around the shop. It's like, oh, this one looks cool.
It's got 80 on it, it'll
Yeah,
do.
We'll grab that.
It might be
click the
5%
filter.
less important, but if I'm playing that much better than my opponent, it won't matter too much.
Yeah, it's all about the execution here.
Yeah, Swiper coming down river is spotted out in that crab there, so unfortunately for him, he shouldn't be able to catch him off guard.
And I actually like this play, not for looking for an opportunity to look for the mid lane, right? This is actually... Oh, hold
Ooh,
that.
CT coming down, coming down. Hayri caught way away from his turret. He has ult and he's going to dash away, flash on his
Okay.
turret. Gets away.
Yeah, ulti and the flash is going to buy his life, but this lane receiving a lot of attention, just as we were talking about. Swiper rotating down top river, only is on the other side of the coin, is hitting with the bot side flank, gets the summoner out, and a lot of attention has been put by Chiefs already into the mid lane.
That's the first Sejuani ult.
Yep.
Right? She gets her ganks when she uses that and connect with it are fantastic. But when she doesn't, she's got to wait a little bit till she's more effective unless someone overextends. Pabu in the top lane. Look at this damage on Swiper.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous for him to stick around here.
CS lead looks a lot worse than it is on the scoreboard, but Swiper now calling is over his teammates. Ayla coming in for a big roam top side to kind of shepherd him and deny this wave. Chiefs looking at the map and it's like we haven't seen Olaf for a while. We're actually worried about a potential dive top side, given that Swiper was low, given that there was a huge wave underneath his turret. Eventually, it's just going to mean the plating going over to Pabu on that Jax as...
Yep, he's got one already. Looking for
Yeah.
that second one you can see there. Ayla does have his ult, so he was sort of hanging around that jungle because he could join the fight with that very quickly.
Yeah.
So he's going to be roaming around the map here a little, trying to counter gank in this.
But he can't leave, like, forever, right?
Yeah.
He is tied to the bottom
He has
lane.
a
He needs
job.
to go down there and help out Raze, and Swiper is still not having the best end of these trades. Pabu's kind of bullying him around a little bit. Also has that corrupting pot stack still available. So definitely, so far, the lead in the mid lane for Chiefs, but lead in the top side for Gravitas. Infernal Dragon is going to be the first one that spawns as well. So both of these teams putting in a reasonable amount of vision down there around the pit.
Yeah, lots of pings going down here from the Chiefs. They look like they want to secure this objective. And that does mean Swiper for a bit is going to be left alone. He's not going to have any help for a bit. So, but looks like on the other side, Prayless not really looking to take advantage of that. Just a little bit of a trade back and forth. He's gone back to base, so it might be a bit of a chance here for Chiefs to put pressure on this Dragon.
Yeah, a couple of minutes before the junglers have impacted the map right now, and you can see Sweeper comes out. Only Yuhi was spotted out on something. He's going to be able to find that one, and Prayless walking straight out of base, finishes his skirmishes.
He's coming down,
Or warrior enchantment, I should say.
that ward bought them enough time to get Prayless
Yeah.
back into position here. So if they want to contest this, Gravitas will be able to. They have not got TP in the top lane though, so if they are going to fight, it might actually be a 5v4.
Yeah, well, neither team does so far, but Swipe is going to be online much longer before Pabu's is. So both junglers into the mid lane here. Supports are roaming as well.
Yeah, Claire's got caught out a little bit, but Only's in position.
Oh.
First blood coming down. Here comes Isla coming in, but Only's too low. He's dead too. That's 2 down. Isla's going to try and get under the turret here, and he will escape. That's 2 kills for Gravitas.
Yeah, they turn around the mid lane, a straight up 2 versus 3. Decoy, of course, is going to be late behind Ayla on the Galio, but completely turning that one around. They had one goal, they commit to the kill, and
Now they're
that's
looking
a
for this
double.
Inferno Dragon. They were in position for that. They knew they had people ready for it. Isla was rotating up, ready to ult, but it was just too late. Everyone arrived about 1 to 2 seconds after they needed to. One person died, next person died. It was a chain
This
reaction.
is interesting, though.
They're going to contest. Here's the TP. Isla flashes in. That's a lot of damage going down from him. Raze is untouched.
Oh.
That's 1 kill. Decoy's low. He's getting chased out here by Claire. Zonya's coming down, but here comes Gravitas. Dragon is taken by Chiefs. They're looking to get away. There goes Raze. It's now a 3v2. Isla's trying to get over the wall. He's probably going to go down as well. There is another kill for... Oh, actually, wow. They really left that one for Raid there.
Lived it for a very long time, but a very interesting back and forth here. To start that one off, you kind of look at it and it's Gravitas maybe spread a little bit too thin. Raid gets left in bottom lane. Hayri goes back mid lane and they're just dealing with the waves because they think the Infernal is theirs. Very cheeky punish from the TPs of Chiefs. They stick that one around, waited for a very long time. The only vision they had was the crab, right? So they couldn't really see very deep into the pit. Eventually, they actually do secure themselves the dragon, so Chiefs going to be able to pick that one up and kind of as you expect, locked in the pit, no flashes available. The bottom lane of Chiefs does fall down. Claire, of course, just came off the TP, off the reset, so his full HP, doesn't want to keep committing to that one. And kill lead, certainly still going in the hands of Gravitas and sitting on about a 1.5k gold deficit here, but Chiefs, they got themselves the Infernal, so a consolation prize, I would say.
Yeah, the one thing I want to point out, and that is Swiper did burn his TP.
Yeah.
So he's on cooldown now, but Pabu didn't burn his. He didn't need to. His team won that fight. Yeah, they didn't get the Inferno, but you take that away. That was a very clean win there for Gravitas. So now he's got a big tempo advantage. He can go bot lane, he can go mid, and then rotate somewhere.
And I'm kind of interested with what Gravitas did with the map, though, right? They win that fight, lose the Infernal, yes, but you're just mentioning the discrepancies of TP. That is only useful if the top laners are fighting 1v1, right? If they're still left in top side, but they immediately flip the map. They look at the map and they're like, okay, no objective bot side. Let's go top, take down Shelly, take down the Rift Herald if we can, and start looking to pressure the other side. It does mean that Chiefs, bottom lane, is kind of just left alone down there. That turret is going to die incredibly quickly.
Yep,
Rift Herald may be the only thing that can make Gravitas win this race.
Yep, there is going to... Oh, no, they're not going to win this race.
No.
It's going to be dead before it even spawns here. So Chiefs will get first brick.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the map, it will be matched, I would imagine, here by Gravitas' bot lane. We're pushing down with Shelly. This tower is not long for the world.
But surprising sort of play there, and you see the gold lead stabilizing a little bit with that takedown. Pabu didn't have vision of only on the Sejuani and was like, look, I can maybe survive 2 versus 1 with a Kai'Sa and a Galio. They don't have Ignite, they just used it in the Dragon fight, but given that he didn't have vision, wasn't willing to contest the wave as aggressively as he probably could have given God View. So just kind of sacks his turret and they do trade across the map.
I'm
But
curious about that lane swap. Why, if you're Gravitas, why do you make that rather than continue this top lane who's been bullying Swipe throughout the whole game?
Yeah.
And the bot lane, which has looked fairly even.
well, ultimately, I do think it is a mistake, right? I think they could have gotten more if they stuck with the standard lanes. They don't flip the map, and then eventually they push their priority from bottom lane up to mid, up to top, and then they get the Rift Herald eventually. If you take a look at like where the kills have gone, Renekton finishes his Black Cleaver. You can see Ezreal hits his item spikes before that of the Kai'Sa. So they didn't really need to rush the play. But they just look at the map and they're like, look, no dragon. We want the next objective. We want the Rift Herald, and
Let's do
want
it
to
now.
take first brick. And I think they will be a little bit disappointed in the fact that they did lose the race, but at the end of the day, it was just kind of an even trade, so we are really back to square one of where we left off.
Gold on your screen right now. You can see the advantage. In the mid lane, 1,000 for Renekton.
Yeah.
In the bot lane, it's even fairly. In the top lane, it is about a 500 gold lead for Pabu, and jungle is about 500 as well. So most of the lead on the Renekton right now.
Yeah, and that's honestly surprising. If you think about the start of this game, Hero is getting ganked after ganked, only walking mid lane, Swiper walking down, and was the recipient of that first death there, but fortunately picks up a couple of kills, couple of assists off the cleanup of the dragon, and gets his first item completion. Pabu in a little bit of trouble here.
He is. Chiefs are rotating down. Swiper's going to follow. Now, Chiefs are around the blue buff right now. So this is looking to be a 1v1, but Swiper does not need any help. Look at him take down Pabu. His dash should be up shortly. He does hit the stun, and there's a 1v1 kill for Swiper.
And a straight up solo kill turns that one around. Ayla was walking topside, and I'm thinking Swiper wants the support. He wants the Galio landing over the top, but ultimately not even necessary, and he just straight up takes him down.
Yeah, Claire escaping there a little bit from the Nautilus hook. But once again, they're relenting back into their own jungle. They're pulling back, and they're giving up this vision and this pressure to Gravitas, who, to me, have a lot of control in this game right now, still, even after that kill.
And I feel like given that solo kill just lost a lot of it, right? Like now that Swiper is left alone topside of the 1v0, Pabu yet to respawn, it's only a couple of seconds, 15, 20 at best, but they immediately walk into topside. And if you kind of contrast the vision, Gravitas, the deepest ward they have is at the red push, but Chiefs can go that little extra bit further, looking around the Raptor pit, and Swiper now pushing in top lane. Means that vision is kind of just that little bit more extended. Dragon is spawning in just about 10 seconds. It's only in air, but
if you've got control over the area, you might as well take it, right? Objective's an objective. It's free stats. It's stats the other team don't get to match anywhere else. So they are going to clear out vision. They've got vision behind the pit, and they are going to start this up.
And I feel like the decision here from Chiefs is definitely to sack. You can tell that by where they are positioned. But if you take a look at the scoreboard, right, it's 2 item spike for the Ezreal. Kaiser's not quite there. Renekton finished 1.5. Triforce there completed for Parbu. And Chiefs, they're still just sitting on components. And both of these teams, I think, spike fairly heavily in the mid game. But Gravitas just that tiny bit more accelerated right now. And Chiefs are like, look, have an air Drake, I don't care about it. We'll just wait a little bit longer, farm up these waves, and once they do get to these break points, then maybe Baron fights or the team fights we start to see break open.
Yep. The top lane, there's still matching top laners there. Pabu opting back into that lane after getting solo killed a little bit ago. Maybe thought he made a mistake, overextended. Couldn't really fight that far out, so that top lane, he is farming his jungle though, so he's not trying to step out from under his turret here.
Yeah, you can see kind of just trading either side of the map. Gravitas, they walk bot side. Chiefs, they walk top side. So the outer turrets are just going to be 1-for-1. But was the TP there from Raze? Kind of cheating tempo a little bit.
Oh, they're rotating down. Sejuani's in as well. Pabu's caught out. CC going down. He's stunned. He's dead.
Another pick onto Parbu. Fortunately, 0-2 start to this game right now. And Chiefs maybe just keep committing towards the top side. Raze gets the kill. Also finished his Gwinsu, so hit that spike, wants to transform, but...
Yes, Sejuani camping out this top jungle. Olaf from the bot jungle there. Looks like they're just sort of trading sides of the map, but Camille is in the bot side there to react to this Gravitas push, whereas on the top side it's empty. No one's here and no one's coming. Looking to make a play mid lane here.
Though.
They do engage. Ezreal getting a ton of damage down on Raze, who's almost slow. Dive down. He's taken out under the turret.
Oh, double TP though.
Oh, here come the Chiefs coming in. Here comes Claire trying to take out that Olaf. He goes down very quickly. Oh, Swiper misses his ult. He's going to follow up though. Stun down goes on Raid. Now going to turn on him. He's going to flash over the wall. Pabu's coming to the fight. Here comes Isla. Just a little bit out of position there. Swiper getting cut down here by Pabu. Revenge from earlier. But the front line, Hayeri's joined as well. And they're going to push Chiefs back under their turret and look to keep the pressure up here in the mid lane.
And how did that end up being an almost even trade here? 1 by 1, everyone eventually makes it. TP's kind of trickling in left, right, and center, but it eventuates in the turret going down. Gravitas able to break open the mid lane. Couple of key abilities, unfortunately missing there. The stun landed from Swiper, but the ulti did not, and the rotation from Praelis gets into the back line.
Yeah, the key to that one was Raze went down very early in that fight. He was removed, and he's a lot of the damage of the Chiefs. He's been a linchpin of them all year, in fact.
He was like the upfront damage, right? The double TPs eventually came down from the Camille, from the Aurelia, but Raze was the only damage source there from the beginning. He falls down, Gravitas just keep pushing onwards, they keep going forwards, and eventually able to get that extra pick, that extra turret taken down. So gold lead, kind of fluctuating between 1 and 2,000 for the last couple of minutes. Still a very even game between these two guys, but...
It's anyone's game, but Gravitas feel like they've got the choices. They get to do things here. Whereas Chiefs, I feel like, are resorting a little bit to reacting, which is okay, but Gravitas get to think, okay, how do we really take hold of this game and push a lead? And Chiefs are kind of like, just reacting a little.
Yeah, and you can kind of hit on what Jake was saying on the couch, right? Chiefs, couple of early dominant performances versus Direwolves in the game versus Mammoth. They were winning for almost the entirety until those couple of picks kind of lost them the game there. So used to coming out, at least in the 29 season, with a lead from laning phase, and that certainly isn't the case here today. But tracking onwards though.
Just clearing out this mid lane here. They're just keeping these lanes in the right position. Now, if you watch what Gravitas is doing, they're inching their ward line forwards. That little venture through the jungle there, just to get these wards down. Chiefs are going to clear some of them out, but it's going to give them a lot of vision. And then as Gravitas push forwards, they're going to be able to try and find positions where Chiefs make mistakes and try and capitalize on them with this vision.
Yeah, there's a lot of pick potential in both of these comps. Jax can catch someone, as can Camille, the Renekton, the Aurelia, all of these guys. You put in a Galio and Nautilus, and a single misstep could be the start of an all-out brawl here. We are a couple of minutes away from people having teleports, though. So yes, Baron's spawned. We have hit the 20-minute mark, but given that all of the side lanes lack the ability to join the other side of the map, I feel like maybe in for a little bit of a stalemate for the next couple of minutes, people wanting to just farm up.
I mean, if 5 people disappear off the map this side of the game, Doesn't matter if you're ahead. If you find them at Baron, you're going to win a fight. So just play it safe, play it slow, play it methodical. If you get a big fight, yeah, it's an objective you can take, but really not before then. You see, though, the top laners are going to the bot side of the map. So they are respecting that Baron is the objective. They're keeping their 80 carries around the mid here so they can react there if they need to.
And you kind of do see, on a more general sense, like not even specifically this game, it hasn't happened yet, but where these kind of comps do fall down is by people being greedy in the side lane, right? Like, they get caught out on a rotation, they push a little bit too far, and
That's Baron's
they
started
die.
here.
But this is actually just a straight-up start of Baron here.
They're going to
for
get
the Chiefs.
spotted instantly. Double
Yeah.
wards going down. Chiefs run. They are like, we do not want to sit around here right now.
Just an opportunistic play, maybe kind of... Like, there's not much to do in the map right now. There's no objectives available. Mountain Dragon, yes, is spawning, but Chiefs are like, look, we don't have TPs. If they give us a free Baron, we'll take it, but as soon as a ward was placed down, they immediately back away.
Pabu's looking for this here. He's got a minion wave.
quick.
Cletus get away, though.
Jax is
He
pretty
just forced him back.
zooming.
And now look at that. With that push back, Chiefs are in no position here to react to this dragon. This is going to be Mountain for Prayless going down. Chiefs are pushing mid here, so we might see these guys rotate up and try and defend that mid tower that's still up.
Another one of these dragons just kind of conceded here for the Chiefs. Happy to give that one over. Still taking a look at these items. Spear of Shojin now completed here for the Renekton. And I feel like that item alone is kind of the reason that Renekton had this surge in popularity earlier this year, right? The item gets released and all of a sudden, in a late game team fight, he's actually a useful champion. Oh,
Yeah. He
That
used
was
to drop
close.
off quite a bit late because
Yeah.
he didn't really have too much
like-
going on.
Like, you think about, like, the players in this game, I think of Renekton and Swiper 2014,
Yeah.
right? And it's just like, I will win this lane, or I'm literally useless, and he's definitely not that champion anymore.
No. If you play those champions now, you're really playing a very risky, volatile style, which
Yeah.
the best of one isn't always the best. I mean, sometimes it can be, don't get me wrong, but here in this game, Renekton is more of a stable pick.
Yeah, it's just much harder to pull off. Like,
Yeah.
competitive games are very difficult when, like, you're playing against a team that has a week to specifically prepare against you, and then you add your own pressure of, if I don't do anything, like, I lose by default. If we just have a very even game, a stable laning phase, then it doesn't favor me, and as you kind of see time goes on, people do shy away from that a little bit, I will say. The meta right now, fairly quick, but quick games are not the ones we've seen in the OPL so far. TPs are starting to come up and available, though, in the next minute, and you can see both of these guys kind of opting in for mid control, fighting over it much more, people rotating centrally on the map.
Yep. I mean, Gravitas have got a slight lead, but I can tell you from watching Chiefs over the years, they've always had a bit of a style where if they fall behind, they'll just be like, let's slow it down, we'll win late, right? So this game seems to be that classic style that I remember Swiper playing. It's just wait, they'll make a mistake some point. We don't need to make big flashy plays. We just need to make sure we're not giving up big objectives. Swiper stepping forward here though. Gravitas probably does jump away. Looks like Gravitas did do a big reset just then. They're running back out on the map.
Yeah, just the ebb and flow of Baron Vision right now. Raze using his TP to kind of cheap that tempo just a little bit more. 3 items now completed by both 80 carries. So
They're getting
everybody incredibly strong. I feel like these team fights are going to go one way and one way fast, right? If a Nautilus hook lands onto the wrong target, there's just so much damage from both of these compositions. A single misstep means an insta-give, and
Who gets the good engage?
yeah, it really does come down to that. You can talk about like item spikes all you want and scaling and that sort of stuff. I will
Pabu
say,
caught out though, does try
Ah.
and CC him, but misses everything.
okay, that kind of sucked, but Flash does have to be paid there from Pabu. Doesn't want to get chased underneath his turret. A good opportunity looked there by the Chiefs.
Yep, no
Get
minion
the
waves, so no
advantage.
tower damage either. So they tried to make it. That's a pretty safe play though.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't go well, you back out.
I mean, I was saying it earlier, right? Like, where these comps do fall down is in the side lane. A single pick means that pressure can be floated all over the map, and you do kind of get suffocated very easily. So, Flash being down does hurt Pabu much more in the sense of a team fight than the side lane. He really doesn't need that to deal with Swiper, but to get onto Raze in a team fight, Jax without that summoner only has a single dash. Raze has the ulti, has the flash available, and I feel like he probably will be the target of the Jax in a team fight. So going to find it a little bit harder to lock anyone down if he chooses to group, but
Yeah, there's a lot more CC on that side though. Like you can get the Renekton stun. There's other ways they can try and catch Raze out if you make some mistake. But I think if you're right in that, if it's a standard front to back fight, Raze is going to probably be the last one standing on the Chiefs side without that flash. You know, still some pressure mid here. That mid turret, that mid tier 1, still up for Gravitas. That's a real. That's why they're able to push forward this far, because Chiefs, when they chase, can't really go that far.
yeah, they can't like retain the map control until you break the outer ring, which Gravitas have done. Of course, Chiefs have not. It's very hard to push into enemy lines and make it stick. They have something very easy to fall back to. Ezreal, nowadays, is super annoying. Getting hit by a Q as Raze did just before, and like losing 70% of your HP to a Luden's proc. Definitely hurts. Chiefs know something is up. A lot of pings going down into the Baron side.
No vision at all.
Mountain Dragon makes this very quick. Gravitas may just one-shot this one.
They may. Looks like Isla's starting to come in. It's already 1,000 health. There's the Baron for Gravitas and Chiefs. No vision at all on that top half of the map there. And as they inch their vision forward, trying to be safe, it's taken away from them.
Yeah, Chiefs looked for it earlier, right? In Gravitas, they were at the play. They got there in time, but Chiefs just get caught napping here. Huge play from the red side of the map. Picked themselves up an uncontested free Baron buff.
That was clever by Raid, actually. I don't know if you saw it. He TP'd the tier 2 turret.
Yep.
Because he was concerned that if he TP'd to the tier 1 there, that the Chiefs would be there to sort of catch him as he came out of that teleport.
And now would be the worst time for a pick. You see it so often. If you get Baron and immediately die afterwards, it's like a minute of time off the buff taken away, and kind of does get rendered moot a little bit. Dragon is up, but you can see Gravitas have their eyes on mid lane right now. Inner turret exposed. Chiefs eventually will land.
But pushing this forward, they can rotate to that Dragon that just spawns. So we'll see if they look to do that or if they continue the pressure on this base.
They just straight up want to go forwards here. See if the body blocks do come through. That's a big chunk onto Raze.
Yeah, he's on half health. He's in trouble here. If they manage to catch him, he's going to get picked off. So he's going to back into his base and heal up as this minion wave is taken out.
Yeah.
Some free damage there going down from Gravitas. That big cannon there. Just little chips here going off against that turret. Nothing really happening on the map besides this, so this doesn't go anywhere for Chiefs.
Yeah, with Raze sent back to base, he's the only ranged member of this lineup, right? So Chiefs really can't deal with that cannon creep. Yes, it's doing a pitiful amount of damage every auto attack, but it certainly does stack up. Half HP is the way here, only potentially looking for a flank.
This turret isn't long for the world. This turret is basically down. They do dive straight in. Isla goes up in the air, knocks up half the team. Can Chiefs turn this around? There's 2 dead, 1 from each side here. Isla goes into his Zhonya's. He's going to back away. Raze taking a ton of damage. He's alive in the back. He's under his turret. He's killing one. He's going to try and kill a second. Prayless goes into Zhonya's. Raid is left. He hits the true shot. But it looks like Chiefs hold their base.
Yeah, eventually they do hold on. Claire looking for more. Only flashes onto the Ezreal.
He does, and Raid's going to try and do some fancy forward to get away. Only Zoe on health, but Raid's on the bot side here. He's gone to the bot lane.
Yeah, Ezreal 1v2 potentially on here, but no. Safety is the name of the game there, and Raid is going to back away. So, Gravitas, they break the base. That was very close to being a game-ending push there. Team fight, if won a little bit more handily there, could have been the explosion. Raid
wants the objective, only coming up though, and he's spotted him. Raid can't do that. But Raze and Only are going to come through. They're going to clear this mountain.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing, they didn't lose the inhibitor, so there's actually not that much more pressure on their base that was before. They just need to make sure they don't let that push in and get backdoored a little bit.
Yeah, mid lane is just kind of in a shambles now as we zoom through that one.
Did you guys catch that? If not, rewind, watch it in 0.1 speed and you'll get it all. I'm sure we'll get that back in a second.
Is that possible? 0.1?
There's lots of video editing programs out there. Here we go.
We'll take this second look, right? And I was going to say, this was so close to being a game-ending push. Gravitas are actually the ones that started off, and Raze falls so incredibly low. Decoy with the ulti, with the hook, lands, but a redemption comes through clutch with a Triumph proc, and barely just living off the back end. True Shot Barrage could have been the takedown, but predicts the wrong way.
Yeah, now if Raze dies in that fight, game ends.
That's game over, right? If that team fight a little bit more, goes the way of Gravitas, that's it. Straight up, 28 minutes, game is over. Push on to the Nexus, easy as you like, but
Instead, the Chiefs win the fight and they get a Mountain Dragon. That's the difference in this game right now, is that a bad team fight for Chiefs and the Nexus is dead. A bad team fight for Gravitas and they lose an objective and some of their little lead. They might have another one of those where they get a Baron soon, they can try it again. But really, Chiefs do get a step closer to winning now, because the next time they win a team fight, they'll get more of it.
Because there has been, this 2,000 gold lead, maybe got up to 4,000, 5,000, but this is a very close game between the two. Baron snuck away from Gravitas and immediately have a game-ending opportunity. 2 minutes is left on the spawn of that one, as Claire now finds himself in the face of 2 Gravitas members, does just back away.
This top jungle is a bit of a minefield of Gravitas members right now. But also, top lane is the call. Going to rotate up here.
Claire
trying to stop this down. The tower is going down. Here's the fight coming through. Everyone over the wall. Isla comes flying in. Hits no one really. Olaf does get taken down to his GA. Gravitas are here, but they're not going to be able to step forward and get this Olaf out of here, I don't think.
Prayless is dead.
Prayless does go down. Swiper's ult misses. Gravitas peeling away. And it looks like Chiefs will just get the 1 kill.
Yeah, that was in a 4 versus 5. Swiper TPing to the play was there a little bit after the fact, but Claire kind of baits them in, reels Gravitas over the line, and they do lose their jungler, so Prayless falling down means that no significant pressure will be applied here. And I'm actually curious as to the fact that Gravitas are 5-man pushing. Habu had TP the entire time, and you would expect, as the matchup trends later and later, the Aurelia versus Jax to go the Jax's way, but not willing to opt into the side lane. You can see stopwatch still available for Swiper. 2 items completed and a 50 CS lead or thereabout is in his hands, so...
Raze TPing mid. Looks like they're going to try and take this tier 1. It's been 30 minutes, but that tier 1 is down. And now the map's a bit more balanced in that Chiefs can push further forward into this red side of the map.
A couple of items now completed here once again. The QSS for Raze is going to come up clutch. If any CC hits him, whether it's a Renekton, a Nautilus that did last time, or the Jax, we'll have the one button to take away, and we're going to try and live once again at the back end of these fights. Now that Swiper just TP'd to that play, you can see Pabu immediately runs bot side. He probably has a reasonable buy here and is going for the recall, but I expect we'll straight up run back to the bottom lane. I'm immediately wrong, of course, because he's just running mid side, and interesting one. 30 seconds on the Baron.
Explain to us why you run bot lane here, just for some newer players.
He just has TP advantage, right? So you expect him to go down there, be a pressure point, and eventually put Chiefs on the clock, but maybe he's just afraid of the one-shot. Now, because Chiefs won the team fight, they got the Mountain Dragon, and they already have control of the pit. He's worried that if he's not there with his team, they can't get in. They can't wrestle out any control. They do just have to face check a blind into the river, which is a dangerous task. Ayla kind of at the forefront of this one. If you face check a Galio taunt, that could be disastrous.
Oh, comes down, hits Decoy on the front line. Nautilus gets blown up. He's dead. But can Chiefs follow it with more kills here? Raiders peeling back. Hayri on the front line doing a lot of damage for Nectar. He's the next to fall. Chiefs get 2. They can follow up. There's the ult coming down. Catches Raid. He's going to be the 3rd down. Isla catches him 4th. In fact, as Olaf also dies in that. Pabu, the last alive, just escaped to his turret.
And exactly what we say. The face check there from Decoy. Sejuani ulti into Ayla's Galio, and pick after pick. Hayri falls down. 4 members fall down. Chiefs, they immediately TP topside. Claire wants the top lane, and everybody else in mid, they may just be looking for the end here.
They might. They took the top lane turret here. Claire rotates down. Looking for this inhibitor. They're going to get the first. Will they keep the push going, or they're going to reset? They're going to keep going. They're going for this win here. Chiefs think they have it. There's only Jax to defend. They're pushing forward. He's not going to do too much. He does Sonya's. He's going to try and pull him away. Decoy's coming alive. Jax is still up. Can they hold longer? No. Jax is dead. 1 turret remaining, and Chiefs, they're looking to snowball this game and move to 2-1 in the split. Gravitas not doing very well in this game. Maybe they can bounce back as it goes on, but they're going to keep going at 3-0. Chiefs take the first game of the weekend.
And such a weird game. Both of these guys, right, this is a fairly even laning phase, trading across different sides of the map. First Baron goes the way of Gravitas. They almost end. A single team fight is the defense there, and Chiefs do exactly the same thing. Second Baron spawns everybody on the map, and teamfight goes their way. Decisive TP from Claire. Game ends immediately.
Absolutely. It was interesting because I think for the first, let's say 30 minutes of that game, I feel like Gravitas sort of wasn't a big lead, it was a small lead.
Yeah.
But none of their fights were decisive. They weren't getting big advantages out of him. They were sort of taking a kill and a dragon and but as soon as Chiefs start winning fights, the game blows open.
Yeah, well, I feel like they do have that little bit extra chase, right? They didn't have to use many things in that last fight to lock down Gravitas. Decoy face checks, and it starts off with Sejuani ulti. That's the only thing they use, and it's a taunt from Ayla. But they still had their big combo in Camille Galio. Both of them still had ultis, and you saw, yes, Ezreal's eating away. Everybody from Gravitas is just skedaddling. They don't want a piece of that one. Fight is lost. Let's live and not lose the game. Unfortunately, if you're Chiefs and you can hold on to those cooldowns, then Claire, very easy chase. Hextech ultimatum. Galio comes flying in over the top, and a single pick turns into a wiped team fight, turns into an end game. Chiefs really turned that one around.
Yeah, some smiles on Gravitas' face. So they were in there with a fight in that game. That was not a stomp. But still, I'm sure they're going to be going back to their hotel tonight and sort of thinking and preparing for tomorrow. Yeah. See if they can get that first win on the board.
And you can see hugs all around Raiden, Decoy, Claire, and Only. Been on Legacy of Old, the roster. Of course, player interactions all over the place. But yeah, rough one to lose. Small lead, as you mentioned, the entirety of that game. Very close between the two. And unfortunately, for Gravitas, that's a 0-3 start to the season.
Fair enough. Well, we've broken it down a little bit. We're going to send it over to some experts to break down this game.
Where? Where are the experts?
I don't see any.
If they can bring any in here, that would be fantastic.
You're still on your 5-minute break. It was exactly like the Golden State Warriors Toronto's game, the Raptors game. That was so close the whole time.
Right, Spawn?
Come on. All
right, maybe it was. I didn't check.
It was. I mean, at the beginning of that game, Jake, you said the Chiefs got the best draft I've ever seen in a League of Legends game ever. And then Rusty, at 10 minutes, you went, this game is over. In favor of Gravitas.
Oh, no, what I said was this game should be over in favor of Chiefs.
Yes.
I thought you just said this game is over. I mean, Gravitas were doing well at that point.
I mean, my quote is definitely correct, so I'm going to start at the beginning.
Thank you very much.
I have no idea how you get Sejuani, which is like best tank jungler, and then double melee champions, best in patch. Like, Aurelia's presence right now, for those that don't know, is 100% still in Global League of Legends. I think in top lane alone, which is where it was played this game, it is 5 picks, 23 bans or 18 bans. I can't remember whether it's 23 total or 18. And then it has something ridiculous like a 92% win rate in top lane alone. Like, they're just the stats of like this champion competitively.
Yeah.
It only gets better when you play it with Sejuani. So when you give over Sejuani and double Bruiser, you should have complete topside control. Because no other 2v2 after one item can fight Sejuani plus Bruiser because of the way the passive interaction is. So for those that don't know, Sejuani's passive, you get a 4 stacking bonus. Melee champions help you stack that. And then she just permanently CCs you, you know? So you got things like the Sejuani stun comes in, then you layer it with the Aurelia stun, then you get Sejuani ulted, and you just don't move for 6 seconds, and you die in the side lane. Like, I don't care who you are, like, it's just impossible to be able to go with that. And then just to top it all off, they don't attack the 80 carry champion pool, and they're the only 80 carry that can build AP. Like, both teams got them. They got Ezreal that can build AP. They got Kai'Sa that can build AP. Like, the one saving grace is you go, hey, let's make them play full AD composition and just build 5 Thorn Mails and pray. But they didn't even do that. It was like such a strange game for me to watch.
We had Boots of
from
Lucidity
even
on
the
Olaf
start. We
as
did.
well,
We had CDR Boots jungle. It was a bizarre game.
And the thing is, like, the comp was effectively Exodia, right? Like, they got the best possible things they could get when put together. It makes this sick composition that shouldn't lose, but they felt like they almost did. And they literally almost did with a fight, a Baroned off Gravitas inside their base with inhibitor down. And that's the thing that terrifies me, you know, watching this Chiefs play. How is it that you can draft this well and still not be able to control the point in the game where you win every 2v2 on the top side of the map and have a 0-0 scoreline when your opponents have scaled against you in lane?
So what I will say in that regard is that Jackson and Renekton have windows where they can 100% play around their respective 1v1s. And I think that Gravitas understood the counter matchups better than Chiefs understood the proactive matchups at the start of the game. As the game progressed, Chiefs started playing the team fights much better and setting up vision. But I think that first skirmish in mid lane where they thought if they rotated Isla in that they would be able to play it, we sat there and we watched it. I wish we had a replay because it was just like a series of misplays. If you ult onto the Olaf, then all of a sudden you push the Renekton away. He doesn't register a lot of his damage. If you ult the Renekton, Olaf's already ulted, so he cannot be moved away, cannot be displaced. So there was a lot of little micro interactions that actually made that game very difficult for the Chiefs to play. But you got to give credit to them. Like, this is once again another game where they just stick in it. Like, they put you to the Chiefs' grind. They slow the pace of the game down, as Benji was saying. They stop making those mistakes and then ultimately capitalize on one of yours.
Raze is still really good. And you know what they did do, Nick, which was fantastic? They won a late game team fight. Something they couldn't do in the first week as effectively. So.
Very true. We are seeing progress then for everybody. It's a successful second week, except for me, apparently. We'll
Do you
be
know
back.
who had the most progress, just quickly?
Who?
My phone battery charge. Bryce.
Oh, that's a shout out. We'll come back to that after the break and also some zipper talk.
So both junglers into the mid lane here. Supports are roaming as well.
Yeah, Claire's got caught out a little bit, but Only's in position. First blood coming down. Here comes Isla coming in, but Only's for the world. This turret is basically down. They do dive straight in. Isla goes up in the air, knocks up half the team. Can Chiefs turn this around? There's 2 dead, 1 from each side here. Isla goes into his Zhonya's. He's going to back away. Ray's taking a ton of damage. He's alive in the back. He's under his turret. He's killing one. He's going to try and kill a second. Payless goes into Zhonya's. Raid is left. He hits the true shot. Oh, comes down. Hits Decoy on the front line. Nautilus gets blown up. He's dead. But can Chiefs follow up with more kills here? Raid is peeling back. Harry on the front line doing a lot of damage for Nectar. He's the next to fall. Chiefs get 2. They're going to follow up. There's the ult coming down. Catches Raid. He's going to be the 3rd down. Isla catch.
At Macca's, our burgers are now hotter, juicier, and tastier, with onions added